Young Sick Bacchus is an early painting by Caravaggio, and while the title is clearly referring to the mythological god of things like ecstasy, fertility, grape harvest, intoxication, wine and winemaking, it is also a self-portrait of Caravaggio. But let's approach this first from the viewpoint that this is Bacchus, who is half naked, wearing a white robe with a ribbon around his robe lying on the stone table. Looking at his muscular shoulder and arm, you may get the impression that this is one of the immortal mythological gods. But looking in some more detail shows that this Bacchus is not very healthy. His skin is yellow and the white part of his eyes as well, and then he has bluish lips. Caravaggio painted this early in his career, in 1593 or 1594, when he was only 22 years old. At this moment he was basically broke, and on top of that he had suffered a serious illness. There are several theories on what he suffered from, ranging from a serious kick of a horse to malaria. During his recovery there were still signs of sickness, as we can see in this painting. He has jaundice, which leads to a yellowing of the skin and the white part of your eyes. But as Caravaggio was broke at this time, it makes sense that he used himself as the model for this painting. In the end, he himself was the cheapest model he could find for this painting. And Caravaggio was a fighter, and he was determined to get out of this miserable situation. Without any serious commissioners, he painted this to market himself as an artist. And for a talented artist, there would definitely be work in Rome, as there were many new churches and palaces built in Rome around that time, and those needed to be filled with art. Looking at the context, we see that Bacchus wears a crown of ivy leaves on his head, which is one of his symbols. Ivy was a sacred plant for Bacchus, as it was thought to possess the power of preventing intoxication. Last week I discussed another painting by Caravaggio entitled Bacchus, which he painted a few years later as Young Sick Bacchus. Interestingly, there he has a different red, which is made of vine leaves and grapes. This is the more common type of red, and sometimes both vine leaves and ivy are included in the red, but typically not only ivy. Anyway, both works are masterpieces, and I'm curious to hear in the comments below which of them is your favorite. The bunch of grapes he is holding not only contains healthy grapes, but also some rotten ones. This is a symbol of death, which is always looming and must have been in the mind of Caravaggio when he was in the hospital for a long time before he created this painting. At the same time, he holds the bunch of grapes close to his mouth, suggesting that he is available for some intimacy. This suggestion is also emphasized by the ribbon of his robe, which is explicitly shown on the table and is ready to be opened. And the two peaches on the table in the foreground further emphasize this message, as they symbolize a desire to be together with someone else. And when someone will join him, he has at least a healthy bunch of black grapes for him or her. Caravaggio used a mirror to paint his work, as he did more often later in his career. In 1607, the painting was confiscated by the Pope because of tax evasion by its owner, Giuseppe Cesari. The Pope gave the painting to his nephew, Scipione Caffarelli Borghese, who at the same time also received two other Caravaggio paintings, Boy Peeling Fruit and Boy with a Basket of Fruit. And today, Young Sick Bacchus is on display in the Galleria Borghese in Rome. Interestingly, the painting has not always been attributed to Caravaggio. As it does not have a signature, over the centuries it has been attributed to several other painters. In 1927, it was attributed to Caravaggio again, and the consensus since then is that this is a real Caravaggio. I will leave it at this for this video, but I always love to read any thoughts or questions you may have about the art discussed. With these paintings from a few hundred years ago, it is often impossible to understand every detail, and sometimes there are different interpretations of the symbology that all have some merit. So if you have any of these thoughts, just leave them in the comment section down below this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.